So I was watching the Emmys 2023 memorial video, and that sent me down this insane rabbit hole. It sent me back to 2016 when La La Land first came out. The first thing I noticed was that Emma Stone's is the modern day Lindsay Lohan, and she's technically here to save us all. And by save us all, I mean the award shows.
What an asshole, am I right? No, I've known her for almost 20 years. I was very happy she was there, and she was also nominated tonight, which was wonderful. And yes, what an asshole.
And then people were coming out and they were like, I didn't know Ryan Gosling was married. Oh, it's because he just wants privacy in his relationship. And it's like the reality is Ryan Gosling does better as just a single man. So his PR tactic is literally that, he's single, and that when they were shooting, for the Barbie, for example, people were like, oh, all you women who think that this woman giving this man, giving him gifts is totally okay. It's like you're all insecure because you think that that's not okay to do, to give him seashells because he doesn't know how to be beach.
Ryan was our dream choice for this role. So of course when Greta and I are trying to get Ryan to sign on. They're like, come do Barbie with us. We know you may have questions, but you have to do this. And I said, I will give you a present every single day if you come do this movie. I think that's how.
I was like, puka shells?
Yeah.
What kind of gifts did you get?
Puka shells, beach-related things, horse mats, horse books.
There's so many dumb things.
I just know that my trailer just felt like it was like a Tommy Bahama store after a while. It was just weeding through.
Sometimes I'd be wrapping this present and I'm like, I want this. I don't want it. There's needle things where you put your hand and it leaves an imprint. And then I realized after a while, because I was like, what is he doing with all this junk I'm giving? And then I realized it was definitely going to his daughters. Yeah. So then I had renewed purpose with the gift giving. I was like, oh great, so what are they gonna like? Then there were some more stickers and
Are they Barbie
I
fans?
kept the stickers.
And the reality is, Ariana Grande just came out with a song that talks about her doing exactly the thing that you are saying that women are too insecure about. And it's didn't we learn from Angelina Jolie? So I don't really think it's insecurity. I think that every woman has a right to feel that way. If you feel like something's up, something is up. Anyways, the rabbit hole that I fell down in was because on the La La Land's trailer, there's this comment about how beautiful the colors and the music is. And it's yeah, of course, that's how you win an Oscars, right? And for those of you who don't know about what it's like to make a film only for the Oscars, you're only making a film that appeals to the judges. However, the judges want films that make box office money. And who gives them that money? We do. So the priority ladder, all the way down to us, there's a lot of people before that. So obviously if the film hits all the things that people are looking for, diversity, they're looking for colors, they're looking for music. That's why all these films are becoming musicals and they're not advertising the fact that they're musicals. It's because you're not the target audience, but they need you to come in to watch these movies so that they can be nominated and elected for these awards.
In a now deleted tweet, The Hollywood Reporter talks about diversity at the Emmys last night with the headline stating, was it because of the spirit of Martin Luther King Jr. or simply a sign of the times that the hashtag Emmy was its most diverse ever? Which is an insane headline.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not a revisionist and I think Martin Luther King did a lot for black people. But I cannot in good faith celebrate Martin Luther King Day. Because the aesthetic of the holiday itself is not about, liberation of black people or trying to help black people feel more equal within society. It's about satiating white guilt. They've butchered and revised his history to make him look like he's one of the good blacks. He'll let bygones be bygones and forget all the past history in light of trying to shake the white man's hand and make it seem like everything's okay now, when everything to this day in 2024 is not okay.
Netflix has not said a single thing about reprimanding, but they forgot. They forgot that they're in a post-strike year. 2 strikes that they deliberately extended because they did not want to pay writers or actors their worth, thus losing billions of dollars. They see the significance of boycotts. Starbucks is a really great example. And let me tell you, Netflix has already pissed off people from the pricing to canceling different shows. So when one of the lead actors of their flagship shows, a show that is centering their final season around his character, goes an entire Zionist Islamophobic spree online, they did not think that people were still going to remember.
I mean, even the people that shout "fuck the police" are being the police that they say.
So he's talking about that interview with Cat Williams and Shannon, not the sharpest tool in the shed. And how all these actors in Hollywood are basically fitted with a backstory. At least he's talking about black actors in Hollywood. Like Steve Harvey, like I always knew that he was some kind of a plant. Like you were definitely never living in your car when you were in Hollywood and getting famous. If you were, by the way, it proves how predatory Hollywood is because they're like, oh cool, this guy will do anything because he's living literally in his car.
It's like, why do you think Elvis didn't do as well? It's because Vanessa and Austin were not together at the time. And Vanessa was going around saying nice things about Austin and Austin was just ignoring her. Again, tying back to why Ryan Gosling has to be seen as a single man for the PR tactics that they push out during these film releases. That's how it works. And same thing goes for Emma Stone's. Like, she was front and center of everything because she is the modern day Lindsay Lohan. Now, I don't know how long the Emmys have been doing their award show, but they have used MLK every single time they have had these recent award shows. And lo and behold, it's because they're on January 15th. Everybody knows that's MLK Day, but okay, yeah, sure. Like the Emmys is always doing something dirty and then saying, oh, in the spirit of MLK Day. Like, girl, like you did Moonlight so dirty in 2016.
I was so mad that La La Land had one Best Picture. I went to bed before seeing the speech. Now, I don't hate La La Land at all. I was just so angry that such a groundbreaking film like Moonlight could have lost. And I went to bed angrier than I've ever been before. And then I woke up the next day. I immediately woke up, opened Facebook, and saw this, and just started weeping.
And then right now everybody's like, oh, Ryan Gosling's face should show you everything you need to know about whoever this Barbie song winning thing. Apparently they picked the Ken song.
Right, so we have our winner of Best Song for the Critics' Choice Award. All right, let's hear it. I mean, Barbie won, of course. Yes, What I Was Made For was such a heartbreaking song that really captured the themes of womanhood. Wait, hold on. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? No, the Critics' Choice was I'm Just Ken. Are you serious? I'm just Ken. Now the kids loved it. I mean, they bought the hoodies, the little Knuff hoodies or whatever. They're gonna eat this up. So you're telling me that from the movie Barbie, a movie about how the patriarchy causes women to be overlooked in society, yeah, you chose the joke song that was essentially a satirical incel anthem sung by the leading male actor for the award. Yep. And you just don't see why that might be a problem? Absolutely not.
And it's like, oh no, like, how dare they? This is what that whole movie was about, feminism and everything. Even the comedian at the Oscars, or what was it, the Golden Globes, like, he didn't even understand the point of the movie. This goes to show that we need to keep fighting for women's rights and feminism. This doesn't mean that these are not important topics and important things to fight for. It's that these people with all this wealth are always using these celebrities and these tactics to kind of get us to go and spend our money on their films or just on things that they want us to absorb. Anyway, so then I Googled like 2023 Emmys deaths because I saw this video of the memorials and I didn't even know Harry Belafonte died. The only thing I can remember from last year is that Matthew Perry died. That was it. And then I was like, am I so insensitive? Am I such a horrible person that I didn't know that this big figurehead in that industry like passed away? But then I Googled it, and literally when you Google it, the main thing that the search engine highlights is Matthew Perry. And then if you go down and you scroll through all of the PR, it's just Matthew Perry, except for this one that I fell upon. So this is not to say that the deaths of everybody that passed away in 2023 was not important, but it's the fact that they tried to manipulate me into believing that Matthew Perry's death was the only one that mattered that year. That's the thing that infuriates me. I learned about Harry Belafonte through James Baldwin's documentary called I Am Not Your N-Word. And it goes into so much detail about Harry Belafonte was utilized by the industry as just like the stepping stool, and just oftentimes put into films to make white people feel better about themselves.
From the producers of Pulp Fiction comes one of the most powerful films of the year. Louis Pinnock is a hard-working man, struggling to provide for his family.
How's my baby girl?
But the cards are stacked against him.
I promise you, honey, it's gonna be better.
Barriers still exist.
Next time you have something delivered into the house, could you send someone other than the fellow you sent by today?
But in this world, the roles are reversed.
White people are genetically inferior.
I can't keep you on anymore.
Fire me?
So when Louis is unfairly fired from his job,
Well, tell him that I just lost my job in the factory and I need to talk to him. It's important.
I don't get involved in these matters.
he decides to get even, the only way he knows how.
You know who I am?
Told line. What's wrong with you? Put your hands up.
That's what this is about. You straighten something out. Now you want to help me?
And then that reminded me of The Color Purple and how certain people were coming out and saying they've been in this industry for 20 years and they've never seen their salary risen. And that's the movie that like Oprah is in control of.
Let's talk about
That
it.
part.
You
Because,
said that
yeah.
Tyler Perry was the first person after all the movies.
Yeah, how about that?
Tyler Perry, a black man, was the first person to pay you what you were worth.
Yeah.
Can you tell me?
That was what I was asking for.
Wow.
Because I wasn't a greedy person. I understood the game. I know that I can't make as much as a certain person that's been in the game longer than me, has proven box office success. I'm proving myself still. But at the same time, I'm not going to belittle myself, my talent, and my worth. I know that I can at least bring you $500,000 in ticket sales.
Right.
If not more.
Right. Because when you did Benjamin Button,
that was 150.
You had the audacity to say you're thinking about stopping acting. We said, stop talking. Are you thinking about it?
I'm just tired of working so hard, being gracious at what I do, getting paid a fraction of the cost.
And then earlier today, I saw that the girl from Abbott Elementary, which is an amazing show. It's so sad that they did not take a stand. But she got flowers from Oprah this morning, and it was like this big thing of flowers.
The lady from Abbott Elementary, okay, to sum all that up, she won an Emmy for Best Actress in a Comedy Series. And the only other black woman to win one since her was Weezy Jefferson. I'm 41, and that was in 1981. So that was over 41 years ago that a black woman has been recognized in that role. Do you know how many funny shows there've been with black women? That's what I'm saying. We be giving too much stock. Like, I love her, and I'm so glad that she won. Real talk. Like, she's amazing. She deserves all of the accolades. But do you know how many other women do too? Like, why?
But that just reminded me of Palestine and how when somebody had to be sent to go like veto against the rest of the world and be seen as a person who hates humans to the rest of the world, like they chose a very specific looking type of person. And they oftentimes do that when it comes to these things. But, you know, you don't see them being represented anywhere else except for when white people need them to represent horrible things that white people stand for. And now we went from the top of the machine, you know, which is Barbie, Taylor Swift, Emma Stone's, all these people, Selena Gomez. And now we're like kind of going down the machine, and we're going down to like how people of color, especially black people, are oftentimes used as just tools.
Care about what Martin Luther King stood for. They care about profit, and they care about satiating their guilt, like I said before. And I also wanted to let you guys know you should be celebrating these people on your own time. Activists in general, especially civil rights activists. You shouldn't have to have the government tell you when to celebrate things in general, but especially with people that have made change in this world.
I also think this is the reason why we're seeing a lot of like Nepo babies, is because it's harder and harder to keep these backstories on people when the internet exists. Or sorry, Hollywood is an arm of the CIA. You know, to put ideas in front of us, make us act really foolishly, create cultural norms that are not really helpful to any of us. He also goes on in his video to talk about Martin Lawrence being one of the highest paid actors, like, of all time, I guess. And he says, name three of the roles that were not cop roles. And I said, ding, ding, ding. It's time for us to all realize that all of these people are like nefarious puppets that are in front of you. To the point that I stitched in the video, Ice Cube is now a police officer on TV, and Ice-T, both of them.
Really great show before it got completely destroyed that went over that was Dear White People. And the reason why I feel like that show got canceled was because they were stressed out that white people were even watching this show, and they were opening up their eyes to things. And the more dangerous part was it was people who were going to college were watching this show. So that's not good. Anyways, then Dave Chappelle was thrown under the bus for this. And if you haven't noticed a trend of how comedians oftentimes are thrown under the bus when certain things are at their peak. For example, Dave Chappelle was thrown under the bus when we were all talking about transgender rights and how they have a right to be human. And we decided to just throw Dave Chappelle under the bus. And then that allowed the showrunner for the Dear White People to kind of come in and make the whole movie or make the whole show about theater and then some random futuristic videos that made zero sense to the plot line of where they ended their season last. And then this recent host at the Golden Globes.
Yo, I got the gig 10 days ago. You want a perfect monologue? The key moment in Barbie is when she goes from perfect beauty to bad breath, cellulite, and flat feet. Or what casting directors call character actor. Some I wrote, some other people wrote. Robert De Niro's here. Yo, I got the gig 10 days ago. You want a perfect monologue? Yo, shut up. You're kidding me, right? Slow down. I wrote some of these, and they're the ones you're laughing at. Look, Barbie on a plastic doll with big boobies.
It is literally impossible to be a woman. You are so beautiful and so smart, and it kills me that you don't think you're good enough.
Humans only have one ending. Ideas live forever.
Okay, then finally, if I'm looking back at what I learned from the Emmys, I basically learned that they oftentimes use music and color and the deaths of people to overshadow like everything else. For example, Harry Belafonte's death. They went as far as to talk about, oh, we've lost all of our friends in the industry. I don't think anybody in this industry was friends, but then they like tied it with that song that Wiz Khalifa did when that other guy died, something about being friends, and then it led into I'll be there for you, and then it was like Matthew Perry was like the highlight, and then when they zoom out, Matthew Perry's like face is in the middle of the collage, and then they have the audacity to say, was it the spirit of MLK Day that made this Emmys award so diverse? Like, I just can't.